This was for Nyctophobia. I love their visual effects from the very beginning, the opening drawings. Then we have the colored, either red or green grass or the blue pebbles at the beach and the flowers that are pink. And this is very high contrasting with the monochrome setting that we have all throughout, and then we just have these specific touches of color that are magic. I enjoyed them a lot. I loved also their special effect with or graphic design with their puzzle, that kind of a image tonal warp. It's um, it's very introspectional, and I loved. Other effect I loved was that clown in the mirror, and it's kind of is coming out, and it was brilliant. I loved also the switching dimensions, how the character can come back and forth from the different dimensions, and those effects I really enjoyed. The lighting when the clowns are just laughing, and it's also have this specific scenes where it's like a graphic novel type or style, and that is also a great touch. I think they are a graphic novel artist, and it's just got a good intermission in the whole vibe. We also have this vintage style music and wardrobe, and we have just different scenarios to reenact the different phases of this anxiety disorder, and it's an excellent job at portraying this tireless battle of so many people just to get a good night's sleep. And I could perfectly picture it. It was a great job. Amazing.
This film has the brashness of a nightmare, how it forces its protagonist to kind of embody these different personas and lifestyles as she deals with something quite profound and so oftentimes disturbing. The nightmarish aesthetic is so consistent throughout. It's unrelenting, really. It never gives you a real moment of reprieve. We're always wondering what is about to happen next, and where is she about to go on this mental, spiritual, and physical journey of hers. It's psychedelic and otherworldly, and really sticks with you so long afterwards. Very well done.
Nyctophobia, this was being like caught in somebody else's nightmare. And I think that's exactly what they were going for. But this was so trippy. I love how they played with black and white and little splashes of color here and there. I thought that was so well done, and I thought it really added something to the like haunted, hunted, creepy factor that they were trying to play up. And I think that it worked really, really, really well. It was, and I like that they played on a lot of different kind of stereotypical things that people have a fear of, like clowns and dolls and all these kind of different things. But they set these different scenes that were so stylized, which I think when you're dreaming or when you are struggling with a fear that seems kind of larger than life, that's kind of how we all picture it, where it's not like a normal situation. It's like extra stylized, it's extra, it's, you know, dramatic, it's things like that. And I think that that's how dreams and fear kind of actually intersect. At least for me, like when I think of what I'm afraid of, I don't think of it in like a normal way. I think of it as the version of that I'm afraid of. And I think that that tends to be a more dramatic version of things. And then I also think that when you are dreaming, your dreams take on this, you know, higher quality, and they can have this like very, very, you know, extra stylized dramatic flair to them a lot of the time. So I think that they did a great job of using that kind of intersection and really leaning into it for the kind of situations that they picked to, you know, kind of highlight her, you know, nightmares and things like that. And then to really lean into those fears and how to play them up even more. I thought it was really, really, really well done. Like I said, I felt like it was me being trapped in somebody else's nightmare, and I think that that's the exactly the kind of feeling that they were going for, because I imagine if you do truly have nyctophobia, that's what it feels like. It feels like, you know, you're on the edge of that nightmare all the time because of this extreme fear, and I think that they pulled it off and portrayed that really, really well.
Nyctophobia is the fear of darkness, and so we get to follow this character that seems to be in this elusive nightmare that they can't escape from, and we get these nice elements of things that we're familiar with, right? We get pretty much a play doll puppet at one point. We get a bunch of clowns and the sense of freak show that lurks within that. There was a scene that is heavily inspired by these pop culture like moments, like It or Sailor Moon, for instance. We get to have this nice fun and play within this universe. The color is very intentional and serves its purpose. Between the color red and the balance of black and white, I think that always looks elegant on screen, and I think the filmmaker does a good use of it. I especially loved the visual effects in this piece. I mean, this is what really hones it in and brings this experimental overall element. I loved the nightlife dance scene where you have the character have these stop motion animated graphics almost dance across the screen, right? We have these moments where Tetris is just floating in the sky and they're trying to put the puzzle pieces together. These little moments really hone in and emphasize the success of the filmmaker developing the experimental genre.